Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to GarageBand Weekly, your weekly dose of all things Apple and technology and recording and home studios and you name it, we're going to talk about it. And if you've got questions, we will try to answer them too. Just throw your questions right here in the chat. Put a big Q in front of your comment and I will tag it, flag it and dag it as a question. And we do this each and every week thanks to me. Yes, I'm sponsored by myself. StudioLiveToday.com/GarageBand is your one-stop shop for all your GarageBand iOS needs. I've got all the GarageBand essentials. I've got all the FAQs, all the communities, all the places you can go. Even my Logic Pro stuff is over there. You can also support me by donating, never expected, but always appreciated, and becoming a channel member or a Patreon of the channel. It's almost like Thomas has done this before. Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for all of your modding support. Appreciate that. Today, we've got some news and notes for you. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. We are doing a quicker show today. We're reducing the length of GarageBand Weekly because at the moment, Frank Terzo and his Community Pulse show, we have some overlap there. And it's important that you catch up with the latest in the community. So we will be sending you over there at the end of this show if you are watching live. And next week is the Community Pulse before Songtember, and a little birdie tells me, Frank, that I will be on the show to talk all things Songtember and to make sure that everyone is ready to rock and roll for what will be, no doubt, another epic Songtember. What's that? You don't know what Songtember is? Well, thank goodness I've got some information here to share with you. You can go to StudioLiveToday.com/Songtember. You're going to find all the information you need. You've got a link there to go to the launch party, which is happening on the 30th or the 31st, depending where you are in the world. I'm here in Australia. It's the 31st in the morning, and it's going to be the 30th in the evening for folks in other parts of the world. And you can even revisit Songtember from last year and the year before. So last year, we did a song, and it was called Learn. It was helped by my friends Jade and Mars Capone on drums and bass, and it was very, very cool. So, yes, you can go back and relive all of the highlights, lowlights, and midlights of Songtember 2024, right through to the final video being released, and our epic double two-parter Your Music Live, where we shared all of your music. So yeah, join in the fun. What we do with Songtember is it's a Song in a Month challenge. I create, record, and release a song in the month, and I invite you to come along and join me and do the same. Should we say good day to some folks? Speaking of Frank Terzo and the Community Pulse, Mr. Clayton Von Kluge was on the Community Pulse just 1 week ago. You can go and check out the replay of that one at the channel that Thomas has linked there. Let's say good day to some other fine folks who are here. We've got Mr. Mark Bro. We've got Fat Panda Cat. Hello to you. G'day GarageBand Covers. Hello to Jamie Lynn. We have the one and only Jade Star. Of course, our moderator, Mr. Thomas Christ. And we have Alexander Dean Francis. G'day to you. Thank you all for being members and patrons and supporters of me. If you would like to, look, another member. Gahalo rocks. If you'd like to, you can hit the thumbs up button. That just tells the YouTube robots that you enjoy what we do around here and that you'd like me to do more. If you'd like me to do less, hit the thumbs down button. But as I say every time, make sure that you tell me why. So just say, Pete, you talk too much at the start. Just show me how to add a guitar, bass, drum in GarageBand. And then, hey, then I'll know. Hello to James Myers as well. We had a great after party. We had Your Music Live yesterday and a wonderful after party. So thank you again to all the folks who joined me on that one. Let's dive in and jive into the news and notes. But please let me know if you would like to ask any questions. Just put a big Q in front of your question, and you will. I will tag it and flag it, and then we'll answer any as we go through. Because I've decided that this show is going to be a little bit more a free form, just an opportunity for us to catch up, check out what's happening in the world of Apple and GarageBand and Logic Pro. And the thing is, not much right now. It's the quiet time for Apple, at least from a consumer-facing point of view. I'm sure they are frantic. They're like the duck. They're the duck floating on the water at the moment. I'm sure the little duck legs of Apple are doing this, getting ready for iPad OS 26 and iOS 26 and Mac OS 26, which are all coming, we assume, in September, along with, we assume, the new iPhone, but we'll talk a little bit about that in the news and notes here as well. But it does mean that in terms of updates, there's really not a whole lot going on in the world of GarageBand and Logic Pro, but nothing wrong with a bit of stability. And can we just please reiterate that, especially for those participating in Songtember, don't update yet. You don't need iPad OS 26. You don't need that hassle. 18.6 is fine. I've updated to 18.6 across all of my devices. Actually, this iPad just asked me to finally do it. So all but my production iPad are now on 18.6. So perfectly safe for your iPhones and your iPads. Haven't had any reports of major bugs, but again, yeah, just don't go to 26 yet. I would do it in about October, November. If I was you, get Songtember out of the way. Don't stress with the new updates during Songtember. Clayton Von Clue says, I was nervous going on the community polls. Thank goodness. Tremor Bear, Gary Hubbs, Laurie's Mishmash, Folk Punk, and a couple of other friends came backstage to calm my nerves. And it can be nerve-wracking. I rue the day when I don't get a little nervy hitting that go live button and jumping on and talking, because it is true that anything can happen. It's not until you've done it enough that you realize that the worst thing that can happen is that you say something you don't mean to. People will forgive you. You do something you don't mean to, people will forgive you. Or that your technology crashes, people will forgive you. Basically, there's nothing, touch wood, there's nothing that you can do that's going to have a long-term impact. And you're overthinking it a lot more than other people are. You're worrying more about how you're being portrayed than anyone else is worrying about how they're portraying you. And I know it's easy to say that, it's harder to put that into practice. So take it from someone who was a card-carrying, and still is, a card-carrying introvert, hated public speaking, absolutely loathed giving presentations in class and in the workplace, and then just decided one day that enough is enough. I'm going to start doing it, and now I enjoy it. And now I get to hang out here and chat with you folks, which is a cool thing. G'day, Imagination Music, midnight in the UK. And apologies for the fact that all these shows are very late in the UK at the moment. As we come into October, November, things get earlier. As our clocks go forward and yours come back, everything gets a little earlier for everyone. Yes, it is indeed the calm before the iPhone storm. G'day to Dr. Indy, another of our wonderful members. Thank you. I need a detailed tutorial for GarageBand. I can't find one anywhere. Please help. Have I got a website for you? studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand. And if you go there, what I would go with is the GarageBand iOS Essentials. The cool thing about GarageBand, the bad thing about GarageBand is it hasn't really changed much in the last 7 years. The good thing about GarageBand for someone like me is that all of my GarageBand tutorials are still very, very relevant. So I would go back and check out the What is GarageBand, how to do things in GarageBand, all my tutorials there, the basics of mixing, mastering there, how to connect audio interfaces, file management, mixing a whole song, setting up a new song. This is a good one for starting out. So if you've never used GarageBand before, I would use that one. It will take you step by step how to set up your GarageBand project, how to set tempo, how to set key signature, how to add instruments, how to access the mixing options. And a complete guide to the track types is there as well. There's a heap in there. So the GarageBand Essentials playlist, which is there on the studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand, is where I would start, Burak, and let me know how you get on, because there's a heap of information over there for you. Look at that. You can check out, Thomas has already hit up the links there. It's like TV on the internet, but yeah, people are very understanding and most have been through it themselves. Exactly, to some degree. Exactly. G'day, Mr. Fomiati. Thank you for being here as well. No, they don't. So that's a good point. Let's do a quick Songtember overview for those that are new before we dive into the news and notes. And that is that no, Songtember, despite the fact that it's called Songtember, it should really be called Music Tember. But September Songtember just kind of sounds. So I know songs technically, and I didn't know this till I was today years old. No, I was a couple of years ago that I found out that you can't call a piece of music, an instrumental, a song, because a song by definition technically has to have lyrics. But no, Songtember tracks, call it track timber. Songtember tracks do not have to have lyrics. They do not have to be a specific genre. They do not have to be a specific length. You do not have to do them in GarageBand or Logic Pro. I will not eat them in a Fox. I will not eat them in a box. I do not like these rules because you should be able to create what you want. Okay, we lost it. We lost it. But yes, you can go and check out everything to do with that. Instrumentals, and instrumentals rock. They're cool. Yeah, don't be overwhelmed. Take it one step at a time. And you know what? If you're easily overwhelmed, let me give you another suggestion. This goes for everyone here. If you're overwhelmed with the whole world of GarageBand, start with my GarageBand 5-minute tips. So if you go to studiolive.today.com/GarageBand, GarageBand 5-minute tips. This will give you a little chunk. And it starts with like drummers and splitting drums and drums. So there's a bunch of drum stuff there. Then there's a bunch of bass stuff and all the instruments. And it goes through every single instrument, every single effect. And it does it in 5-minute chunks. So you could do it, and there's 80 of them. So you could do just one a day for a while, and you'll learn something new as you go every single day. And again, you don't have to boil the ocean with this stuff. You don't have to get it all done at once. I know we feel that way, don't you? When you start a new thing, you just want everything. Like, give me everything right now. I want to create an epic, rad beat right now. But baby steps. Chunk it down, especially if you're overwhelmed. Let's have a quick drink. Hello, Jenny. Jenny Jolivet is here. Good to see you, my friend. And I saw someone else, maybe. There's a question there from Dr. Indy. I'll swing back around. Al Davis, g'day to you. I hope you are doing well. Yeah, and you can also download sounds to practice on, lots of projects you can play with. And if you become a patron, I can give you access to, I did an entire album in GarageBand iOS in 2018. And this goes to patrons and members. I've actually got those available. You can go back into the archives of Patreon and find the article where I shared them, or just hit me up, pete@studiolivetoday.com. If you're a patron or a member, just let me know your member name so I can validate it, and I'll give you access to that. You can download all 11 songs, every project, every single project file, and then you can play with my stuff, and you can make me sound like a chipmunk, and you can remix and re-edit my music. So feel free to go and do that. I'll touch on these. Is there any chance in the chat options to allow clicking on members and chat fam to view channels? Only block options where... Yeah, so there's a weird thing. YouTube, you used to be able to. And again, we'll answer questions as we go here today, because why not? Let me go into my... sorry, I've got a bunch of links open here, so it's making life difficult. If we go into this show over on YouTube, we're going to have to get a little bit Inception here. So it used to be that, yeah, if you're watching a show, you can actually go in. Let's just search me, Studio Live Today. Come into this live show. I'll make sure the volume's down so we don't get the weird feedback thing. Yeah, so when you click on someone, I can actually go to channel and see channel activity. But when I'm on someone else's channel, you don't have that option anymore. Let's see if we can find another live stream. Let me jump into... This will be weird. You'll get to see what I've subscribed to now. We'll go into my subscriptions and we'll go into... what is this? I don't know who this is. Yeah, someone walking around in Las Vegas. Here we go. And if you go here, then you've only got report and block, and you can't go to their channel, and it's really annoying because you're hanging out with cool folks in chats, and you can't actually get to their channel. I can as the streamer, but you can't as the viewer. And it really does. It's a pain in the bum. If anyone has any tips on that, then let me know. But yeah, it would make it so much easier to follow and support channels, because I find you then have to go search for them, and then like there's multiple channels that all have the same name. Like if I'm going to try and find you, Dr. Indy, Let's just see how easy that's going to be. Yeah, look, there's completely someone else. Like I search Dr. Indy and it gives me nothing related to you. And it can be a real pain in the butt. And even if I type it exactly as you have it, no, let's do quotation marks. There's a podcast. I don't know if that's you. So yeah, it is. And there's another Dr. Indy. That's definitely not you either. So it does. Maybe we need a community link, community channel link, so that we can all follow each other around. Yeah, that's true. So for Your Music Live, that's a good point. So if you want to follow a lot of the folks here that contribute their music, if you go to Your Music Live, what was yesterday, 269. So that's another good tip there from Fat Panda Cat. More than just a pretty face. So if you jump into the Your Music Live show and go down to the description, then yeah, there's all the links. So if you were listening yesterday and you're like, oh, who was that? The lady he played third track, the German lady. Oh, that was PA. Well, then you can jump in here and you can grab that video and find PA, and then make sure you're subscribed to PA. So that is a cool thing. But yeah, it's a good point. Maybe we do need something. Maybe I need a link on the website which has everyone's channel. Problem is that people come and go, and it's kind of hard to maintain. So and I'm a lazy man. I have got friends of the channel on the Songtember page. So if you want to subscribe to Jade or Jamie or Thomas, you can do that there. Hello, Joe and Barry Glenn. Hello, Joel Crouch. By the way, if you want to look stylish like me, the classic Studio Live Today mug and t-shirt are available right now on the merch store, studiolivetoday.com/merch. That's enough links. I keep throwing links out there everywhere, but let's talk about some news and notes, shall we? Should we start by talking about Spotify? I know, do we have to? Do we really have to? Yeah, we do. So, Spotify have got a bit of a bad reputation of late. I don't know if you know about that, but not a lot of people are throwing out a lot of love for Spotify. So here in Australia, something interesting is happening, and there's an article. You can find all these articles I'm going to mention linked down in the description below. But the ARIA, which is the Australian Record Industry Association, shores up its awards partnership, and it's very strange that a lot of the indie artists and a lot of the artists that are successful and famous here in Australia, including King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who are a pretty rad band with an even radder name. God, these ads are just annoying, aren't they? So Daniel Ek has invested a lot of money recently in things like military drones, and basically as soon as Spotify started making a profit, he's like, cool, I'm going to invest in war tech. So not a lot of musicians are super keen on that. So we've seen this amazing sort of uprising of folks leaving Spotify, Australian artists, indie artists, and very cool people that are like, yeah, no, we don't need to be with Spotify anymore. At the same time, ARIA have said that we've locked in Spotify as our sponsors of the ARIA Awards for the next 3 years. So it's a very interesting time in Australian music, especially in the Australian indie music scene right now, because you've got basically the richest, evilest billionaire company that are doing some objectively bad things for independent creators, sponsoring the awards that are to recognise the best creators in Australia. So let's just say it could be an interesting awards ceremony. I'd be watching in November when the awards happen here in Australia, because I'd love to see some of the speeches. We had the big Chapel Roan thing where she called out all the major labels. I'd be interested to see what people wear, perhaps, and perhaps, maybe some people will be removed if they've got a big Spotify with a big cross through it on their t-shirts or something. Anyway. So I'm torn. I don't necessarily judge harshly people who keep their music on Spotify, because it's a catch-22, isn't it? It's a bit like if you think of Meta and you think of Google and Alphabet and you think of Apple and you think of Amazon. I use all of these companies. I don't really agree with a lot of what all of these companies do on the daily, but I use them because there's no alternative. The difference, I think, with Spotify is there are a heap of alternatives. As a listener, I'm never going back to Spotify. As a creator, there's actually barriers in place. For me to take my music down from Spotify as an independent creator, I have to take it down from everywhere and put it back up to everywhere but Spotify. I haven't made that decision to do that yet, but I also have no links or ties to Spotify. I have no concerns about doing that. And hey, it might be a popular video, how to remove yourself from Spotify. So I don't know. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts and if you have or are considering leaving Spotify. It's interesting. Yeah, it's not cool. All right, let's continue on. Next on our news, let's talk about Apple. Because Apple have taken quite a bit of heat lately for not being at the forefront of the AI game. And Tim Cook came out in a very rare all-hands meeting that was apparently leaked and said something along the lines of, "Don't count us out," which is basically the code for Apple are never first, but they're quite often best. They were not the first to make a smartphone. They were not the first to make a tablet. They were not the first to make a laptop or a desktop or anything. Like, Apple have never been the first, but they usually wait, come in late, and then dominate. I'm a poet, and I know it. So yeah, there's an article that you can take a look at if you want to go to all the details. But basically, Apple have come out and said, yeah, don't worry about the fact that we're not up there with Anthropic and Google Gemini and OpenAI right now. We'll use them and utilize them for now until we're ready to go. And look, I have two sort of thoughts on that. Number one, I don't think Apple need to be in the large language model, AI, AGI kind of race. I think that's not where they're best suited. So I don't think that they need to. I think they can utilize other companies for that. And two, I think that when they do actually get something, if they do fix buggerlugs and actually create an agent that is useful, that uses your data in a private way, that's going to be the golden goose. Because as someone who's I've been testing out OpenAI's ChatGPT and ChatGPT 5 for the last 2 months. I've been a pro or a plus subscriber, whatever the cheap paid one is, and it's got limitations. Yeah, you can tell a lot of stuff about it yourself, but then where is that data going? Whereas Apple are the kings and queens of privacy and private data. So I would trust, for instance, I'm not giving OpenAI my calendar. I'm not giving it access to my email. I'm not letting it have my credit card. Yet I do all those things with Apple. I have my credit card in my Apple Wallet. I have my emails and my calendar in my Apple devices because they have a proven track record of privacy and security. I'm not sure that Sam Altman and the AI tech bros have my best interests at heart when I give them my private and personal data. So yes, I'll tell them my name's Pete Johns. I'll give them all the public stuff that they can have, but I'm never going to hand over any private data to a company like OpenAI, because not that I'm paranoid, not that I think it's not going to be kept private, but we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again, breach after breach. We've seen data go out there and be taken and used in nefarious ways. So there you go. All right. Apple is more of an improvement thing than an original idea type of company. Yeah, exactly. Spot on, Clayton Von Kluge. Neil Young just took himself off Facebook because they're starting to use AI bots that can be, whoa, gross. Yeah, like it. And so I mentioned last week, I asked the question, should I remove, I don't remember what show it was on, should I remove the AI bot from my the Create, Record, Release Facebook group? Because it wasn't doing anything nefarious, it was just annoying. It was just saying, what's your favourite bit of tech gear? What door do you use? Like, it just was not adding value. And it's supposed to, like, how I would see an AI bot works is, if someone asks a question that's been asked before, it'll find the answer to that and reference it and link back to it. Like, that's all I'd want it to do. It's just some automation, just so that, we don't get the same person coming in time and time again asking the same question. But no, it was no good. So unfortunately, Studio Beat, or whatever its name was put to rest a week ago. And condolences go out to his microchips and capacitors. Oh dear. What's Thomas? Thomas had a question. Can you just go? No. So that's the problem. And most DistroKid, obviously, I'm sponsored by DistroKid, full disclosure, on my Your Music live show. But as far as I know, from the research I've done, CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, any of the indie label releases, indie distributors don't have the ability for you to pull down a song from a particular platform. Maybe if you went through their support somehow, but yeah, the only way to do it is to completely remove it. And look, maybe I do it for my album or my latest release or something. Maybe I test it. Maybe I'm your guinea pig and I see if we can do it. Maybe. They're the better, build a better mousetrap of the tech world. Absolutely. Do we need AI in a phone? Depends on your definition of AI, James. Like, to be honest, it's a great question. Do we need AI in a phone? No. Would I love some better smarts? See, I just call AI automation. And you know what I like? I like it when I book a hotel room and then it pops up in my calendar. Now, some people find that super creepy. And look, and that's why I wouldn't share it with, say, ChatGPT, because I need to know that I trust that vendor. And Apple, and to a certain extent Google, I do trust because they haven't had major breaches. They have decent two-factor authentication and good security and good privacy track record. So I don't think we need AI in terms of, I want to have a large language model and I want to have a chat bot. I think that's what people think of with AI now. I think of AI as helping you. I think of it as human-led automation, where you say, hey, I'm a human, make my human life easier, please, by making me not have to complete repetitive tasks, that you know what I want to do. And I should just be able to tell you, hey, when an email comes in that looks like a tax invoice, file it away as a tax invoice. And then when I ask the question, hey, give me all of my purchases for the last year so I can do my tax, you should know all those things. I shouldn't have to go in there and manually pull out every tax invoice. Can you tell I'm about to do my taxes and I'm a little frustrated finding all my receipts? Yes, that. Hello, Trevor Bear. I hope you are doing well, my friend. The moment YouTube asks for more info or personal data, I'm gone. Premium user. See you later. Yeah, and look, there's obviously, it's not even in my news and notes for this week, but there's a lot of chatter around the world. In the UK, have just gone through this. The US, in some states, are going through this. Australia is about to go through this. This whole proof of identity, where it's like, what do they hear? Someone in the UK was on TikTok, and TikTok said, we need your driver's license. Well, now look, I'm not a jump on the bandwagon of China bad. I think everyone bad. I think American companies are doing just as bad things as Chinese companies and any country's companies right now. Hey, look what Sweden's companies are doing. And I thought Sweden were the good guys. But is Swedish? Is that where Spotify from? Someone will correct me. See, that's people are like, you're so ignorant, Johns. You know nothing about Europe. And you're right. I don't. But yeah, we got this whole thing at the moment where to protect, because when someone, please think of the children, which I get and I understand, and no, I don't like CSAM and I don't like anything that could possibly be bad against kids. I have kids, I like kids, and I don't want kids to be in danger. But at the same time, you can't just make a situation where identity documents have to be provided for every platform by every adult that are using it, because that's just impractical and it is a breach of privacy. Isn't it amazing how the same people that want the First Amendment rights, the right to choose and the right to say and do what they want to do, as soon as it's when someone please think of the children, suddenly that same freedom and that same protection and privacy is gone ski, because, well, it's my thing now. I'm very glad that I sponsor my own show here. I have some views on this show that I don't usually express on other shows at all. All right. Joe and Berglin, I no longer use Facebook Messenger or Instagram. I'm done, but I still get bogus friend requests. Yeah. My profile's locked down. If you ever try to find me on Facebook or Instagram, my profile's pretty locked down. I don't pop up for people. So you know how people get spoofed all the time? Generally doesn't happen to me. Even though I'm a public figure, I don't think I've ever been spoofed. And people say, oh, my Facebook got hacked. No, your Facebook didn't get hacked. You had a bunch of photos that were public and enough information on your public profile for someone to just recreate you as a brand new account. And then you had your friends list public so they could go through and pull out your friends and then invite them to the new account. And because people just don't even look to see whether they have another account, that's what happens. But again, I'm with you, Joe. You shouldn't have to care. You shouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Like, you shouldn't have to be a privacy expert to use a platform. They should, by default, put the private settings on. But why don't they? Because they want discovery. They want as many eyeballs on as many ads as possible. So they opt you in to the least private settings, and you have to actually know to go in there and make yourself stuff private. It's BS, and I respect your decision to leave. So yeah, hit me up on email, pete@studioliveToday.com, or join the Patreon. Patreon's pretty secure and very unspammy. As soon as you say to someone you got to pay me, even if it's $1 a month, yeah, the spammers seem to go away as soon as you ask them to open their wallet. All right. Have I said not said good day to anyone? Sorry, we're still talking. He came off Spotify to protest the misinformation. Yes. Yeah. Oh, look, Neil Young, Lynyrd Skynyrd called him out in their song. Neil Young has always been a lefty hippie, and that's why I kind of dig Neil Young. He's cool. Getting more info in the Apple ecosystem. My Fitbit died and I replaced it with the Apple Watch SE. Yeah, which is a good thing, because guess what happened to Fitbit? And this is the thing. You can give... I liked Fitbit. I used Fitbit for 10 years. It was my tracker of choice. But what happened to Fitbit? They sold to Google. And then what did Google do? They absolutely destroyed it. They made you have to log in with Google. You no longer could log in with Fitbit. They made the app crap. They didn't have any quality control around their products. My mum and dad have had like 4 Fitbits that have completely carked it. So yeah, I moved to an Apple Watch and have had 0 issues. And I know a lot of other people have as well, which is sad, because you get these small companies that are really just designed to be acquired by big companies. And we're seeing it again and again. Well, we're seeing this for decades. I know it's nothing new, but it's doesn't mean that it's fun. It's no good. It's no bueno. Look, it is, and it's the unending paradox of safety versus privacy, and it always will be. It's not fixable with the... You can't... Yeah, you have to give up your security if you want privacy, and you have to give up some privacy if you want security. It's not 100% either way. It's a bit like encryption. Encryption is good. Everyone should have encryption on as many things as they can, on your files, on your emails, on your messaging. Why don't people put encryption on? Because it's hard, because it's extra overhead. And why don't governments like encryption? Because they can't spy on their people. And that's it. Like that's all it is. And the reason that end-to-end encryption is not going to be regulated by any government in the world ever is that they don't want the bad guys to have it. It's like, you can't protect the good guys. You can't protect the bad guys. So therefore the good guys are unprotected. So then the bad guys get this stuff anyway. It's a catch-22, and I don't have the answer. It's for people high above my pay grade that can answer that one for us. Yeah, exactly. And as Fat Panda Cat says there, yeah, like the ID for the sort of websites that you definitely don't want people to go to. But again, we need very 100% locked down third-party sites that you can trust, where you can actually put your ID in. And look, you already have it. Like, Apple Wallet has... I would let Apple just tell a website that I'm over 18. Like, as long as they didn't give them my ID. But if... Like, Apple knows my age because my driver's license is stored in my wallet, as is my credit card, which I need to be 18 or over to own. So why not just say, if you own a credit card... And I know there's loopholes, but if you have a credit card in your Apple Wallet, then you're over 18, therefore you can do what you want. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. See you, Dr. Indy. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Sorry for getting all ranty. I think we're 2 articles in, but I love it. I love the discussion, and I love your feedback. I'm not going to agree with everything that everyone says all the time, and you're not going to agree with everything that I say, but that's actually good. When we can have general, honest, open conversations and banter about this sort of stuff, I think it can help, because the alternative is just stick in the mud. I've got one idea, one thought, one suggestion, and I'm never going to change. Yeah. Exactly. Apple stores all our passwords. And that's the thing. I've put a lot of my trust in because security professionals said that I should be using more ID stuff than, what do they call it? More pass keys than actual passwords. So now I use my face and my fingerprint, But again, then now I'm hearing, oh no, they're totally spoofable. People have found ways around that. So yeah, look, there's no way to be 100% safe. What can you do? You can do the best you can. Always have at least some form. Like my parents, I've tried to get them onto authenticator apps. It doesn't work. They don't understand it. So I've got them on SMS two-factor authentication. Which, is it perfect? No. Are those 6-digit codes great? No. And can someone spoof your phone number and intercept your SMSs? Yes, of course they can. But they'd have to go to a lot of effort to do that. And for the regular average person, they're not going to. So app-based is better. So if you, by the way, if you're wondering, and I'm not a security expert, but I have to secure myself and I have to secure my family and my parents. So app-based is best. So that means if you say log into your bank, it asks you to open the banking app on your phone and say, yes, it's me. And the same, like Facebook, you can have that, Instagram, etc. That's best. Best is something like a YubiKey, a physical object that you have to have. But if you're anything like me, you'll put that somewhere. You will never see it again. So phone I'm going to have. So physical device like a YubiKey, and then it's app-based, and then it's authenticator-based. So it's not the specific app, but it's a trusted authenticator like Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator. And you can download Google Authenticator for free from the App Store if you want to use it. Then it's SMS, then it's email, because that's ultimately spoofable and hackable, and then it's nothing. So even if you have email as a two-factor authentication on something where you have to get a code to your email and then put it in, it's better than nothing. But please, for the love of your deity of choice, don't have no two-factor or multi-factor authentication, because you will be breached. Your passwords, your username and passwords are out there in data lists right now. If you haven't changed a password on your Netflix in the last 2 years, it is probably out there. And ditto things like your banking and your PayPal. You'd be surprised, or maybe not, how much of this data is available, not even just on the dark web, but through legitimate data brokers that are just selling information. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, people can cross-reference things like your security questions from data that is obtained legally through data brokers. It's an absolute hot mess. Anyway. now that we've got everyone feeling bad, thievery, and that's the thing. And the more of the thing with the kids thing is, the more of this stuff we put in place, the more they're going to work around it. I know my kids. Yeah, like my school, their school had blocked access to things. So what started happening? All the kids installed these free VPNs, which are the worst, because I don't know if you know this, but free VPNs are selling your data. That's how they're free. If it's free, you're the product. So yeah, it all leads to bad things. Should we talk about more good things? Should we talk about iPhones? Yeah. When is it coming? When is iPhone Day? Well, we don't know. So it hasn't been released yet. The date of release hasn't been released yet, and we are very quickly coming towards September. The word on the street, the number, if I was a betting man, like sometimes I am, it would be Tuesday, September 12th. There's other talk around September 19th of it being delayed a little bit later. So yeah, if you are wondering when it's going to come, we don't know. It'll come at some stage in September. Most likely, we normally get the new iPhones in September. So, we don't know. But watch this space, because as soon as we know, I'll be letting you know. And I'll do what I normally do. Even though it's the middle of Songtember, I'll be doing my usual breakdown of all the things. Because not just the iPhones, obviously, it's the final versions. We get to hear again about all the iPad OS 26 stuff. We get to find out if they'll rename the device to the 26. I don't think they will. I think they'll keep it at the 17, but hey, I've been wrong before. But yes, it'll be coming soon, and I'll let you know when it does. I think, here's my prediction, it's going to be the least interesting iPhone announcement ever. Is anyone here with me? The 14 to 15 to 16 has been the least impactful change. As soon as they went USB-C, it's just a slightly better camera. Every year it's just a slightly better camera. And I know that there's yes, it's slightly more powerful, it's slightly more fast, and it's got slightly better, but the screen, almost exactly the same. The processor, a bit quicker, but does the same thing. Series, still the same. Like everything, if I'm rocking a 14, 15 or 16 right now, I'm not racing for a 17. If I'm a 13, 12, 11, 10, yeah, it's time for an upgrade. But I think the days of the yearly, apart from the absolute tragics like me, who have to be the guinea pigs, I think the days of the yearly phone cycle are over. And I think the days of the 2 year, because it used to be that, yeah, if you went on a contract, it'd usually be for either a year or 2 years, 24-month contract. I think we're going to start seeing the phone providers go to things like 36 and 48-month contracts, because I don't think you're going to need to update your phone for 4 years. I think, I know that like Mark and Thomas have both got 16s. You won't be updating to a 17 or probably even an 18, maybe not even a 19. It might be the 20 before you need to actually update if you've got a 16 right now. So, yeah, exactly. Exactly. They'll be 40 times faster than the iPhone 3GS. Have you ever noticed how they do that? Look, I love your Apple, but don't compare this year's product to 3 years ago product just to make it look better. I don't know. I don't know which iPhone I have. I have what do I have? I have a 16 Plus and a SE2 right now. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Word is they'll rename the devices next year. Yeah, potentially, because that's when the iPhone Air and Fancy will actually come. And on that, another rumor again from 9 to 5 Mac is that in 2026, so not this year but next year, there'll be no iPhone 18. So I think this is kind of just reinforcing what I was just saying, which is that Apple have realized that, especially for consumers that don't buy the Pro models, they don't need the next model. So this will mean that the 17, or if that's what it's called this year, will come out. Then next year in 2026, there'll be no 18. It'll skip it. And then the following year is the only year that the standard and the E version, the stripped down version, will actually be updated, which is an interesting thing. That only the Pro version will get updated. It's a very different way of doing things than what we've seen, because Apple have always been, yep, every year refresh every iPhone. But not always, because things like the SE has been in place for like 3 years. So it's not unprecedented that their lower end iPhones don't get a yearly update, but it'll be the first year that the numbered iPhone doesn't get updated there. I know, and that's the thing. I'm like, is it going to be that? Is anyone just thinking about the future? Like our kids in like 100 years' time, will it even be? Well, I don't know. We won't have consumer products. It'll be all like Mad Maxy, won't it? I have a 15 Plus and I might upgrade to get that always on features so I can use it as an alarm clock. Yeah, I got to admit, the always on feature is kind of rad. I had that on my 15 Pro and I don't have it on my 16, and I do kind of miss it. Except I turned it off eventually because it annoyed me after a while. 6 or 6S I want to trade or sell, mate. I've got a plethora. I've got an iPhone. I've got 2 iPhone 4s. I've got an iPhone 3G, 3GS. I've got an iPhone 5. I've got an iPhone 6S Plus with a very cracked screen. I've got an iPhone 10 S. I've got all the iPhones. None of them work well. Yeah, we'll just implant chips in our heads and everything will be that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it'll be phones as we know them today. But then again, phones, when was the last time you used your phone to call someone? Like, we don't use phones as phones. They're internet communication devices. It's like what Steve Jobs says. It's an iPod. It's a phone. It's an internet communicator. Yeah, most people don't use it as a phone as much as they do other things. Yeah, well, one day I'm going to go through my whole collection and just charge them up, turn them on and see what works. I think most of them power on, but most have like either a cracked screen or they've got a broken port, or yeah, there's something wrong with all of them. All right, so that's the iPhone news. How we go? Oh yeah, we're on to the last note. What did I say? A quick show. We're 45 minutes in. So the final thing I'll say is that the public beta 4 and development beta 7 are now out for iPad OS and iOS 26. Don't download them. Don't use them. They're not worth it. No. As always, only go on to the beta version of a Mac or an iPad or an iOS product if you have a second product. Do not use this on your daily driver unless you are very much about living on the edge. Is there anything really new in these? No. Once you get to sort of the public beta 4 and the development beta 6s and 7s, we're close. These are what they call release candidates at this point, where they're so close to the release that, they're almost what's going to come out. In fact, they probably are. That being said, don't do it, because even when it's 26.0, there's a difference between the beta version and then the public release version. There is almost always, at least one unforeseen thing that happens when you release something publicly that even 7 betas can't find. And it might not affect everyone, but it might affect you. So again, you don't have to be the guinea pig. You don't have to rush. Chill, kick back. Life's short. Like, don't spend time stressing out and updating your stuff too soon. Just wait on it, and then go in at 26.01 at the very earliest. Let me be your 26.0 buddy, and laugh at me when my AUV3s don't work, and when my phone overheats, and when I get weird crashes, and when my iCloud drive just creates random files for no reason. Yeah, and the real public version is the .1, exactly. So if you want to be super cautious, I would go with the .1, not even the .01, the .1. Latest iPhones are 16 and 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. So the 17 is coming out this year. Oh, yes, many of my phones also have a headphone jack, the 1/8 inch, the 3.5mm jack, which is gold. I do miss those things. I do. All right, we are going to finish up soon. Mr. Frank Terzo, if you're watching here live, is underway with the Community Pulse right now. Again, I know this show has kind of evolved and we don't talk a whole lot of actual GarageBand unless you have questions about it, but I'm still creating GarageBand videos and GarageBand content. The GarageBand 5-minute tips series is still a happening thing. We're over 80 videos on that one. That's over there on the website, so you can check all of those out. And we're actually going through and looking at all of the Apple AUV3 plugins. There's 16 free Apple AUV3 plugins, and we're going into a little detail of those. Just to the Dynamics processor, which if you haven't checked it out, I'll tell you what, it's rad. Let me show you how to get there, because if you go to the GarageBand iOS FAQ, what you want to do is jump in here to your GarageBand 5-minute tips. This will take you to the whole playlist. Scroll all the way to the bottom, because there's 80 plus of them, and jump in and check this one. So this one, the free advanced compressor and expander, and it's got a really good interface. It's actually a great education thing. If you don't know how a compressor and expander works, watching this and using this interface, you'll get it. You'll see how it actually works. So go and check out that video if you haven't already. There you go. You can check them all out there. So it's Robbie Stingle and Kubrick Lover 1972 that are on Frank Terzo's Community Pulse right now, and there they are in all their glory. So you can jump on over there, chat to Frank, chat to Folk Punk, check out Robbie and Kubrick Lover, and have a chat in the chat, and let them know that we sent you over. That Pete John says g'day from GarageBand Weekly. Let's all go and raid their chat right now, and put Frank on his toes. Make him have to throw peace signs to all of us. All righty. If anyone has any final comments, feel free to throw those in the chat now. We're going to finish off in just a couple of minutes. A reminder that Songtember is just around the corner, so make sure that you keep up to date with all the Songtember happenings, and get yourself ready, because we are 11 days out from Songtember, so it is going to be super cool. Yeah, I can't wait to. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Joe Barragland. Thank you, Clayton Von Kluge, a wonderful moderator, Mr. Thomas Christ. Hello and goodbye to Paper Pony. I hope you are doing well. When is that cover of Lost in Tokyo coming? It ain't. It ain't. That is a great song, and I'm going to let it sit as your song. Very, very difficult. And yeah, thanks for your participation. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for your participation today, folks. It is always good when, we can just have a bit of a chat about these things, because there's a lot going on in the world of Apple and the world of tech, and just having some friendly folks around to have a chat about it. And like I always say, we won't always agree on everything. We won't always be on the same page, but that's actually okay. It's one of the good things in life that we can have friendly disagreements. Like it doesn't have to be black and white. We don't have to just be, I am side one and you are side two. We can both be both sides. We can both listen and we can both accept and respect when it comes to things that aren't hurting others. When it comes to things that are hurting others, sorry, no. There's objectively a right and wrong thing to do. Anyway, let's keep going. Thanks, folks, for being here. Please, this week, be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. Say good to Frank and JJ for me, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.